I think there's going to be some very, very notable turnover, potentially seismic turnover in terms of the new top 25 when the AP top 25 is updated and released on Sunday, because
Pitt's out.
We have reached the point where, like, if you still have 0 in that loss column, like you deserve to be in there. So here's what I think. You all tell me what you think. I'll work backwards. Obviously, Pitt, you just lost to Georgia Tech.
Gone.
Out.
Later. Florida State.
I don't think they should be out, but there's a very decent chance they will be, seeing as how they're 23 and they
Were just 23 and you just lost by 10 points. I think you're out. At home as a touchdown favorite. Minnesota. Sorry, bro.
Out.
Probably, yeah.
Arkansas.
Get them out.
Oklahoma.
Get them out.
Get them out.
What's the best win there? Texas A&M. Out.
Gone. Yeah.
And Baylor, I think.
I think Baylor hangs on.
Okay. But Baylor is the so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the top 25 from last week. 6 if Baylor's able to hang on, that we are projecting to be out. That will open the door for Kansas.
You're damn right.
Cowards. UCLA.
I think UCLA should be in. Yes.
They beat Washington on Friday night. Very good win for the Bruins. TCU.
Yes.
TCU wasn't ranked. I'm just pulling this up. I don't really look at the rankings that much. Holy cow.
I don't think Syracuse gets in.
I think that Syracuse gets in because the win against Wagner isn't enough to do it, but they were number 25 in the coaches poll last week. So being ranked in the coaches poll, I think, plus still being undefeated at 5-0 might get them more of a push than they had last week.
Not arguing.
You knew they're going to rank,
but yeah.
And what? Danny's going to. You knew they're going to rank, and Danny's going to lose his mind.
LSU or Florida?
LSU.
Yeah. Well, LSU just secured a big, giant win over Auburn, despite Jaden Daniels being 8 of 20 for 80 yards.
I was going to say the SEC bias is when Mississippi State gets in.
You know who needs to be ranked is Tulane. They have a road win at Kansas State. They just took their third stringer when their guy got knocked out because Pratt's coming back apparently. So their resume is better than some of the teams we just named, isn't it?
Here's my question to you guys. Is Illinois ranked?
No, but they're close. They show up on enough ballots that they're starting to sniff it.
Saying 4-1.
All right, what about JMU?
I don't think enough people realize they're in the FBS yet to be ranked.
They had more votes last week than Coastal. And Coastal's also JMU and Coastal are both undefeated.
They had more votes than UCLA and TCU last week.
JMU has been more dominant. So JMU I think should be ranked. JMU would beat Kentucky if they played.
I'd give them a 25. I mean, they deserve it.
JMU is legit, without a doubt. Unfortunately, cannot win the Sun Belt Championship, ineligible this season, and cannot play in a bowl game this season.
Does Wazoo sneak in? Because they were receiving votes last week, and they looked pretty good against Cal today.
Maybe. So I think that after you get past Kansas State, which was 25 last year, they won 37-28 against Texas Tech. I've got them at 21, and 22, 23, 24, and 25 are kind of up for grabs. Washington State could be in there. LSU could be in there. Mississippi State could be in there. JMU, Coastal Carolina, Syracuse. You've got a group of, I think, 9 teams fighting for 4 spots when it all comes down to it. And the margins will be thin so that whoever gets into those spots could find themselves in the same position that Florida State and Pitt did this past week, where, the second that you get 1 loss, you're out and somebody else is in. But
okay, well, let's screw the teams that might be, and let's talk about the teams that are in. As of right now, the top 5 teams all won. Number 6, USC, is up 21-17 on Arizona State. Does
Clemson jumps Michigan?
Does Alabama or Ohio State jump Georgia?
No.
I was going to ask about that.
No. All right, so 55 first place votes out of 63 for Georgia last week. I think that the split is different, but I don't think that it's enough for Georgia to lose number one.
But I think what's different this week is nobody watched Georgia kind of struggle with Kent State. Everybody was watching Georgia struggle with Mizzou.
Boy, if Georgia lost number one off of,
I think you're going to see. I don't know if they'll lose number one, but I think you're going to see Ohio State and Alabama get a lot more into first place votes.
I agree. I mean, I think that we could be looking at more of like a 28-16. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not doing that math right.
Do it. Finish it. Come on. You're at 44. How many more?
44. So then that means it was 28-16-20.
All right, here's a question for you. If Bryce had not gotten hurt and Bama won by the same score,
yes,
Bama jumped Georgia.
I think so.
Yeah.
They were up, 28 to
but it was 14-0 when Bryce got hurt. In Moreau's first possession, they had a pretty short field. He handed off twice, and then he kept on a keeper and scored on the third play. So it was a 3-play touchdown drive. The fourth touchdown was a pretty decent drive, and then that's when right before halftime, Arkansas scored, and they dominated the third quarter to make it a game again.
I've got Ole Miss jumping up into the top 10 after the win against Kentucky from number 14 to.
How far does Kentucky fall?
I've got them only down to 12.
Not far enough. Yeah.
I mean, it's just I've got Kansas all the way crashing in at 15. I mean, Kansas at 15, UCLA at 16, TCU at 17, all ahead of BYU, which sort of sits tight. I've got them at 18. I think Wake Forest is going to move up a little bit, but only up to 19. We're dealing with a little bit of a log jam there.
This is you predicting what the voters will do, though.
Correct. Not my own personal.
Yeah. Like Chip is smarter. Chip is smarter than to do that. Like he knows TCU's resume is better than Kentucky's resume.
My ballot for the CBS Sports 131 will be sorted out on Sunday.
Well, I don't know. So will mine.
I didn't want you to take the heat from the chat, thinking that like you personally think Kentucky should only drop to 12.
No. It's far more fun. It's far more fun to just predict what the other people are going to do, because then you're both taking the heat for people that think it's what you think should happen, while also taking the heat for not being as smart as what somebody else thinks should happen.
Breaking news, USC turned the ball over. It turns out they aren't going to go all season without a turnover. Caleb Williams picked off on a fade into the end zone. Anyways, some people had TCU at 7 on their ballot last week.
Nothing but undefeateds on your Super 16 ballot?
Yeah, but even in the Fernelli ratings, TCU is at number 7. Oklahoma was 21.
But the Fernelli ratings do say just because one team is ranked higher than the other does not mean that they should win or be favored. It is one of the rules of the Fernelli ratings. I've read the rules of the Fernelli ratings.
One team had been playing much better than the other, and that continued on Saturday.
So yeah, we will. There's a new top 25 coming out on Sunday. If you want to check out a full detailed explanation of every single team and its ranking, head over to cbssports.com. Again, the AP top 25 college football rankings will be updated on Sunday, and we have made our projections over on cbssports.com.